Hello, statistics students. Welcome to this video on measuring strength of association with correlation. In this video, we're going to look at how to visualize the correlation coefficient. The correlation coefficient is a number that measures the strength of the linear association between two numerical variables. For example, the relationship between people's heights and weights. We can't emphasize enough that the correlation coefficient makes sense only if the trend is linear and if both variables are numerical. The correlation coefficient, represented by the letter R, is always a number between -1 and 1. Both the value and the sign, positive or negative, of R have information we can use. If the value of R is close to -1 or +1, then the association is very strong. If R is close to 0, the association is weak. If the value of the correlation coefficient is positive, then the trend is positive. If the value is negative, then the trend is negative. Figure 4.9 presents a series of scatter plots that shows associations of gradually decreasing strength. The strongest linear association appears in the following figure A. The points fall exactly on a line. If we drew a line through those points, we would match every single one of those points because the trend is positive and perfectly linear. Here is where the correlation coefficient is equal to 1. And now we show them in decreasing order. This scatter plot shows a slightly weaker association. We can see that if we were to draw a line through those points, some would be above, some would be below. We have this vertical spread. These points are more spread out vertically. We can see a linear trend, but the points, they do not fall exactly on a line. The trend is still positive, so the correlation is also positive. However, this time the value of the correlation coefficient is slightly less than 1. It's 0.98, but really close to 1. So that's a very strong association. The remaining scatter plots show weaker and weaker associations, and their correlation coefficients gradually decrease. Letter C, we see some vertical spread more than the one before it, and R here is 0.72. In letter D, we're seeing more vertical spread, 0.48. And in letter E, we're starting to see a weak association at 0.19. And then letter F, those are all over the place, giving us a correlation coefficient of 0. That last scatter plot shows no association at all between the two variables, age and time. And the correlation coefficient has a value close to 0, very close to 0. The next set of scatter plots starts with the data from a marathon, having a correlation coefficient close to 0, and the negative correlations gradually get stronger. Finally, to the last figure, F, which is a correlation coefficient of exactly -1 because they all fall on a line. And this concludes this video for visualizing the correlation coefficient. In subsequent videos, we will figure out how to actually put a number on this and how to calculate that number to get these correlation coefficients R.